Who's a rational investor, dividend digester, saves some of his paycheck just like all his ancestors. Him looking for high yields, that's never the case. He's seeking 6% return. Slow and steady wins the race. We pay our debts in our currency that might be unfurled if it's no longer the reserve currency of the world. Confidence in the dollar is permanent. Just ask any scholar. People are exchanging their dollars for dog money. Dog money? Dog money. Dog money. We trading it in for dog money. Dog money. Dog money. Dog money. Dog money. I'm putting it all in dog money.
Yes, good afternoon everybody. It is Sunday, the 11th of July, 2021. Welcome to Satoshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. So let's just jump straight into it. Here we go, rock and roll. So from left to right, we've got Corecoin, Bcrash, Bitcoin, which is BSV, which is the original protocol, which makes it the real Bitcoin, the true Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin. And then we've got Fisher Price Cash on the end. What a joke that is. So we'll just let Peter McCormack and Tony Vase explain this picture that we're looking at. Take the floor, Peter McCormack, if you would be so kind.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here.
Well, exactly. It's a load of crap. It doesn't even work. That's why I call it Corecoin, because I refuse to call it Bitcoin because it's nothing like it, as you've just said.
It's a completely different project.
I thought so. I mean, that's why it's got no fundamental value. A completely different project means that they're building second layer solutions instead of scaling the first layer, which is what economically incentivizes all the miners, which is what allows the network to economically sustain itself. The signatures have been segregated, which brought it under the centralized control of Blockstream, which means it has no fundamental value as money, and it's a complete waste of time and utterly worthless.
It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore.
Not on Corecoin, it doesn't, because Satoshi didn't design Corecoin, did he? Blockstream did.
Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project.
Why would he want to do that? He's already designed the project. That's what the white paper was all about. Why would he want anything to do with a project that's fundamentally worthless and a complete waste of time that's been changed beyond all recognition? It's ridiculous.
Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
What, like it wasn't before? Did you even bother to read the white paper, Pete? Honestly, let's have that one more time.
The project Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure about that, Pete? Because it didn't sound like it to me. I think you're just as confused as Tony Vase. So have a listen to this interview with Tony Vase and Daniel Krawitz.
Why do you think BTC is valuable?
It's valuable because it's the only unconfiscatable asset we have, and that is because that comes from its decentralization. I think Bitcoin is the only valuable crypto asset we have because of the nature of how it started in its first few years.
And when you say Bitcoin, you mean BTC, right?
Absolutely.
But are you aware that in 2017, they changed the rules so that BTC no longer follows the Bitcoin white paper?
That is not true at all.
The white paper says that there needs to be a chain of signatures.
Sure.
Okay, so that's not what we have anymore. That's how SegWit changed that.
Okay, but it's still Bitcoin.
Nice one, Tone, you bonehead. Good grief. So now we can see that BTC is absolutely nothing like Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a commodity, and what Blockstream have done is turned it into a security, which means they've crashed its fundamental value to zero, which means it won't be able to economically sustain the network that it currently supports. Absolutely ridiculous. And now we're going to move on to Bcrash. Why do we call it Bcrash, Roger?
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
Exactly, that's why we call it Bcrash. And what do you say to all those multinational companies who conduct billions, if not trillions of dollars of global trade on an annual basis that say they need a regulatory compliant monetary system in order to do so?
The ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Yeah, like that's going to work. So there we have BTC with no fundamental value and BCH an absolute load of crap. But the original protocol still exists. It's just got a new ticker symbol, BSV, which is the genuine Bitcoin. Yes, indeed. Alrighty, let's just crack on with this then. So we'll just have a word with Craig-Oshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. So Craig, can you tell us kind of like, you know, in very simple terms, what does he want from Bitcoin in terms of its price action, which is going to be a reflection of its value, which is obviously a reflection of its utility and use case and application?
I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin.
Sounds good to me, mate. Very ambitious. But I mean, when you strip everything down to the bare bones, is that kind of like, is that motivation? Is that it?
That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
Well, you know, just let me help out and I'll stick my foot right in. Yes, indeed. So we've got hash rate 0.5%. And look at this. So for any newbies who are watching this for the first time, who are sort of like wondering what hash rate is, look at this. 0.4% of the hash rate can actually process 58.3% of the overall transactions on the network and process 75% of the overall data flowing through the chain. So what is hash rate? Hash rate is just an indication of how valuable miners think it is, which means as BTC has no fundamental value, it means that what we're looking at in terms of the price is purely speculative. And the only reason miners are mining it is because it has the speculative price that helps them currently cover their running costs. Whereas when people find out that that speculative price is fundamentally worthless, sooner or later when education catches up with speculation, the price will soon match its fundamental value at zero. It's going to be horrendous. There will be no miners mining it. The entire chain will collapse because only Bitcoin, which is the protocol laid out in the white paper, is the only way to commoditize data and make data valuable through its efficiencies and securities. You know, all these other projects that we're looking at here, Corecoin, Bcrash, you know, Fisher Price, they are all centralized projects. Only BSV is a genuine commodity with a chain of signatures intact, which holds all users and developers on the network accountable to, or equally accountable as everybody else, which makes it a commodity. It's not looking good for these other chains at all. So look at this, network nodes 1.4, transactions 58.3, absolutely smashing it, and 75.7 for the overall data flowing through the chain. So we'll just have a chat with Michael Saylor now, because I always love his positivity on the show. So Michael, tell us, when we're sort of like looking at Bitcoin, what do we want from it?
I like Bitcoin the way it is.
Oh, not that one, I wanted this one. Here we go. What do we want from Bitcoin, Michael?
Big blocks.
Yeah, what size?
$100 million chunks.
Nice. Whereabouts?
On the blockchain.
I thought so. Let's have a look at these big blocks then. So in terms of megabytes, what have we got on Bitcoin? 1, 15, 3, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, 5, 1, 1, 6, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 8, 3, 1. 1. Oh, that's all right, you know. Seen them bigger than that before, but yeah, that'll do. And Fisher Price Cash looks still struggling to get all of their blocks over a megabyte. What a joke. What have we got on Bcrash this morning? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks over a megabyte. Is that it? Good grief. And Corecoin still struggling to fill all of their puny 1 megabyte blocks with data. Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's consistently not filling all their blocks now. It's really not looking good for them at all. Hash rate. So hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. If you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. When something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. Boom. Next, here we go. So proof of work by network, Corecoin, Bcrash, Fisher Price Cash will all fall into their own footprints because that's what Ponzi schemes do. Bcrash Bitcoin hash rate, who cares? Bcrash Bitcoin proof of work, who cares? Well, it is currently 7,200 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Corecoin, which is cheaper than all of these other alternative protocols that have no fundamental value. And look at this, it is 18.6% more profitable to mine on Corecoin, which shows you the competition for Bitcoin. Loving that. And let's have a look at the daily average Bitcoin block size by network proportionally. There we go, look, Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. So averaging 5.14 megabytes. Beautiful, beautiful. So daily average Bitcoin, so daily Bitcoin transactions by network Bitcoin winning, transactions per block by network Bitcoin winning. Fees, this is fees in the block, so block fees, that's USD block fees, Satoshis. Block reward ratio compared to block fees, so again, expecting huge movements in price and transaction volumes, so we'll watch this space carefully. Daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network, let's have a look at this in real time. Let's move this over a bit. Where are we now? 404 gigabytes on chain, amazing. And let's see how far we are ahead. 47.5. Wow, so that's approximately, there must be like, yeah, half a gigabyte a day it looks like we're going up by. Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely love it. Alrighty, close those. Hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours, kind of similar to Coolcoin because that's got 97% of the hash rate. Bcrash, oh look at that, look at that. Ample, that was 61.81%. Let's have a look at the profitability on that. When it's 1.2% more profitable to mine on Bcrash. And there's not really a lot in it, so you know they've got no incentive to reduce how much they're mining on it. That's hilarious. A completely worthless and utterly worthless chain and protocol. That one, an utter waste of energy. And this is Bitcoin. Wow, Tau is 72.2%. Now the difference here is that this protocol that's being mined is the only protocol with any fundamental value. There is no such thing as a 51% attack. You are either mining the protocol and processing transactions, or you are not. You know, you can fork the chain, but if you fork the chain, it means that the chain you forked onto, if it's not following the exact same protocol, has got no fundamental value. So you crash its economic. So basically, you crash its economic value to zero, which is ridiculous. So you know, really, everybody should be mining this protocol. Like I said, it's the only one with the chain of signatures still intact. It has a locked protocol, a fixed supply, infinite scale, and proof of work. It's the only way to make data valuable, a true commodity. So, yeah, no such thing as a 51% attack there, but they've got every incentive to mine it because it's valuable. Whereas on Bcrash, it's got no value whatsoever. So they're just kidding themselves. You know, it's crazy. And Amory's Fisher Price Cash, again, just a complete waste of time and an utter joke that one is. Good grief. And again, the reason we're pushing these shitcoiners off the chain is because the only thing that they understand is price manipulation, which we will look at now in the short positions. And there we go. So short positions on Bitcoin, where are we? 92%. What a joke that is. And Coolcoin. Oh, here we go. Straight there. Well, look at this. Short positions are shooting up again. 20%. Well, 19%. Wow. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. People losing faith. Wow, that's massive. That's massive considering that's what, or like a $500 billion market cap. And now 20% short ratio on Bitfinex. Good grief. Someone knows something. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Wow. All right, let's have a look at, that's why I like looking at the figures. So let's have a look at Bitcoin blocks live. So for any newbies watching this, the vertical rectangular blocks moving across the top of the screen are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. As soon as the transactions are broadcast and recognized by more than 50% of the nodes, they're then thrown into the memory pool. And they are picked up by 50% of the nodes instantly because Bitcoin is an ultra small world mandala network shaped like this, which just basically means that as the size of the network increases, the density of the links goes to zero, making it ultra small world and highly sparse respectively. It also means the formulation of the network can lead to an improved topology against malicious attacks, so it's hard to take down. It is a fantastic network. So once the transactions are recognized by 50% of the nodes on the network, they're thrown into the memory pool, which is where they are competed for by the miners and payment processors in order to create a block, put the transaction within a block, and then place the block on the blockchain, which is when they're rewarded with the Coinbase data, otherwise known as the block reward, otherwise known as freshly minted Bitcoin. So if we look at this block here, for example, the 52 megabyte block, in the highlighted rectangular box below that, we've got the hash of the block. the block height, who it was mined by, size, the time, the date, the transaction count, and the total fees. And in that block, they were $153.44. Let's just check charts quickly, see if there's any movers and shakers. That's all right, always worth checking. Right, and now we shall let Laura Shin explain the significance of fees in the block. Take the floor, Laura Shin.
So, as you mentioned, at a certain point when the block reward stops, there will be a transition where miners will be compensated in transaction fees, not in the block reward. And the current amount that they earn is from fees is about 9% of the block reward. And so we'd have to see transaction fees 11x by roughly 2140, which is when the new Bitcoins will stop being minted. But I just wondered, if we don't see an increase in the amount of transactions that can happen at layer 1, because the number of layer 1 transactions is limited. And right now, I feel like a lot of the scaling is focusing on layer 2. Can transaction fees 11x in that time, or will that require people to pay a lot more per transaction?
Over the next couple halving cycles, we should see it start to predominantly be the value that is compensated to the miners in the block reward. If Bitcoin is the world reserve currency that doesn't have a strong security model, like there's not a lot of monetary compensation in the block reward due to transaction fees, well, then its long-term security will be weak. If it is the world reserve currency, there will be very, very many layer 1 transaction fees.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you think it is possible that the amount in transaction fees will maybe not be enough on layer 1 to replace the block reward when the time comes.
Absolutely, there won't be enough layer 1 transactions to replace the block reward when the time comes, because they've purposely restricted it to 1 megabyte, which means it can only do 4.6 to 7 transactions a second if all the stars align. Do you honestly think that 7 transactions a second is meant to economically sustain and service all of this lot? Oh, honestly, every time I look at it, it just makes me laugh. It's absolutely hilarious, honestly. That's why we say shit coiners, shit for brains. Let's have a look at BitInfo charts. Oh, here we go. So we now got 10.3% of the overall transactions on the entire network. But as we know that XRP and Ethereum are completely fundamentally worthless and useless anyway. So we'll just have David Shorks letting us know and explaining why exactly XRP is fundamentally worthless.
The XRP is a digital asset. It's censorship resistant. It's publicly traded. It trades on the XRP ledger. Ripple does not own or control the XRP ledger in any way. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
So how did Ripple then get all the XRP that it has? It has about half the supply. So just how did that particular transaction happen?
Good question. How did Ripple end up with half the supply of XRP when there are so many of them?
So the way its design works is when the ledger first began operation, the 100 billion XRP, all that will ever exist, were sort of up for grabs. And lots of people grabbed XRP out of that system. But it just so happens that obviously, just like early miners mined huge amounts of Bitcoin before the public knew about it or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with the vast majority of it.
Yeah, remind me to go and have a look up the economic theory of being up for grabs. One more time, David.
People who developed the ledger wound up with the vast majority of it.
And Ethereum not being able to scale.
It scales somewhat.
It hardly scales at all.
Yeah, we knew it wasn't going to be scalable for sure.
More like fail. Let's have a look at transactions, 24 hours. Here we go, 3 years on the log curve. Looking beautiful. Love this. Yes, that is Bitcoin in purple. Looking beautiful there. Scaling test networks, checking the figures. Yeah, all right, always worth checking. And now we'll have Shadows talking about Terranode.
We have run this across all 10 nodes, and I have actually seen volumes in excess of 100,000 per second. I wasn't quite brave enough to try that one today, live on stage. But there we have a real-life example of a Terranode that is able to scale. If I had more time, I would show you one that's actually running at a steady-state capacity and show that it actually can continue for a long period of time without any problems.
Beautiful, and the disclaimer.
For reference, we don't think that the Bitcoin SV software would be able to handle a validation rate like that at this point in time.
And the time frame?
By the end of this month, we're hoping to actually have alpha versions of Terranode listening on the mainnet. They won't be trying to produce blocks. They'll just be listening and processing peer-to-peer messages. We'll also build, we have built scale testnets, global scale testnets for the Terranode specifically. We can't do this on the scaling testnet because we'll crush it.
Amazing.
Because we have proven that Terranode can scale, we've proven what Satoshi always said about Bitcoin. Bitcoin can and does scale. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve Morlike. Absolutely fantastic. And trends.cash, well, TDXP up down to 53, so Relay X giving it a run for its money, whatever is going on there. Good to see that. Apps ranking by performed at Crypto Fights, 38.8%. That game is absolutely motoring. There is going to be a buzz about that game. Wow. I might actually have to go check it out. Do you know what I mean? Look at that. That's huge. That's huge. So pushing TDXP down into possibly 9th by the looks of it. Wow. Twitch doesn't even get a mention. Oof, looking good. No longer just a weather app, Pete. And CryptoQuant, yes, the exchanges were cashing out, which has caused a squeeze in the liquidity, and all the tether printing has caused a massive spike in the price. It is a huge bubble just waiting to pop. Oh dear. What's on chain? Good question. What is on chain? We've got an estimated next block size 5.2 megabytes, current memory pool usage of 11.8 megabytes. And let's have a look at that. Visualized. Here we go. So data comes in, then it gets cleared. This is what a memory pool is meant to look like. Look at that. Huge amounts of data coming in. So what it's not meant to look like is Coolcoin BTC. Look, absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. There is no organization in that whatsoever. That's what a network looks like when it's been purposely restricted all over the shop. So we can see that on see the effects of that on TX Street. But we'll just have a listen to Adabak, the CEO of Blockstream, explaining his expectations of a payment network.
You know, fee estimation in some cases is quite bad. You know, if you're paying a friend, you can probably afford to wait 4 hours and not pay a priority fee.
Oh, shut up. Whatever. Waiting 4 hours. Good grief. And the median fee is 92 cents. It's alright for Coolcoin anyway. Let's have a look at Ethereum, 45 cents. What do you have to say about that, Vitalik?
The internet of money should not cost 5 cents a transaction. It's kind of absurd.
Really? What, so you're saying it should cost 45 cents per transaction? What have we got to say about that? Oh dear, what an absolute joke that is. An absolute joke. Where's the low fee line on Coolcoin? Good grief. There's hardly anybody using it. That's why the blocks aren't full. Dear oh dear, it's not looking good for them. So talking about our own problems with fiat currency, look at this. What do we know about excessive money printing?
Statistical analysis has found that every time an empire begins to near its own demise, you'll find that its currency will be debased.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? So knowing that Bitcoin is the only thing that can save us, how are we feeling about it today? CoinGecko, feeling good. 45%. God, dear, oh dear. Ooh, could be a potential buying opportunity coming up. Loving that. Let's have a look at Bitping. Monitoring all the networks around the world. Money flow per hour going up. 73.4 cents. Countries 44, monitoring all these other networks. Great use of the Bitcoin network. Loving that, loving that. The morning run, purchases are down as well. Look at that. Only 272,153 purchases in 24 hours. Wow. Market cap still 2.5 billion. Certainly not to be sniffed at. Let's have a look at the depth chart. So we got 3 million asks versus 3 million bids. Ooh. Price must be on its way down. Let's see what's been going on. Oh, come on. No price manipulation there, people. Oh dear. All right, let's have a look at Bitcoin versus USD. There we go. Oh, trending sideways by the looks of it. Upsy downs, interesting. All right, and let's have a look at Coolcoin. Here we are. So up a little bit and sideways. All right. And Coolcoin versus Bitcoin. Oh, battle going on there. Battle going on there. Oh goodness. All right, and let's have a look at the overall CMC. Here we go. So Coolcoin down 0.4%. Where is Bitcoin? Bearing in mind none of these coins have any fundamental value. Absolutely worthless. Oh, down 0.2%. Oh, take that. We'll take that. Winning. Look at that. Shiba Inu, Pancake swapped. Oh my god. Filecoin, Stellar, Solana. Oh, none of these pieces of crap have got any fundamental value or utter garbage. And YouTube, hey, 590 on the way up to 600 subscribers. Loving that. Good. Thank you very much. And Streamanity, made $1.80 on yesterday's video. Thank you very much. Oh, followers going up, 295. Excellent. And Twitch, so $100 on Twitch. Try making that on Twitter. Yeah, good luck with that. And let's have a look at Twitch new users over a 24-hour period by following Acorn Stacks when it comes up. Here we go. Where are we? New users 46 in the last 24 hours. Still more. And 422 followers for me. Let's have a look at Ruthie's tweet. Oh, Twitter are letting it run a little bit. Now we're on 983. And let's look at Arman Satoshi. They took him down from 79.6 to 79.4 yesterday. Where are we today? Back up to 79.6. Come on, get that over 80,000. And let's look at stablecoin printer. USDC, more Binance USD. Good grief. TUSD is true USD. It's not. That's not Tether. Wow, no Tether either. You know, interesting stuff, people. Right, shout out Keith Fellows, Arcade Robin House. Thank you for joining me. We're now up to date with the figures. Hope you enjoyed the show. Catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.